Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make a vase. In your Blender viewport, go to orthographic view by clicking one, then add a mesh. Alright, let me turn on my shortcut keys here. Alright, now you can see what I'm pressing. You're gonna have to add a cube in object mode, change it to edit mode. Click A to select all the vertices and merge at center to merge vertices into one. From there, you'll start the extrusions by clicking E and moving your mouse to wherever you want the shape to be. This is just like an outline for you to better see the initial shape of what you are creating, right? Just select the vertices and keep extruding. There is a modifier that I'm going to tell you guys later that is going to round up everything. Okay, just keep extruding the lower part down and extrude this other one. And then we're going to use a modifier to wrap it all around, convert it to image. Now we are done with the basic shape. Click on it with A, all of it. Go to object mode, yeah, and go to the settings modifiers tab. Then we are looking for a screw modifier. Click it. Now you see what you have here. The axis should be at Z, not at X. This is what it looks like. In the X axis, it's mirroring on the X axis. If you mirror on the Y axis, this is what it's giving you. You make sure it is at Z axis. We move this so that the origin will be at the center, so that the mesh will be rounded, screwed around the center, which is the origin. All right. So from this, you can choose to adjust. Let's adjust it a little. Yeah, I think no, I'm okay with this particular one. Yeah, let's make the mouth a little bit smaller. It's alright like this to me. You can increase your viewport to 32 to further smoothen it, and that's what I kept it at. Okay. Finally, you can just rotate it to see how it looks. Alright. Don't worry, when we add the subdivision modifier, everything is going to be smoother. Okay. So we see we have a basic shape of a vase. Very, very simple. Alright, let's add the subdivision modifier to further smoothen it out. Increase it to 2. Okay, so now see how smooth it is. We are going to apply this modifier, and you have to be in object mode to apply the modifier. So now you have the full mesh. Now, as simple as that. So all you need to do is to fill this in with F and then insert it to do away the wrinkles. Sorry, for that insert it. Why I'm inserting this is I want to have a little space. I want to extrude it to make it somehow artistic. Alright, just a base for it to sit on. Okay. From here, you can choose to rotate it upside down so that you can have the main top pointing upwards. And you can also choose to add modifiers, another modifier which is the solidifier at this point, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to like extrude it inside, kind of make it have a thick top. Alright, yeah, skeleton words after extruding. Extrude again and grab it downwards. G and Z, grab it downwards just to make the top a little more thick. But you can do this with the solidify, no doubt, but I didn't just want to go into that. Okay, so now we have the top looking thick. Let's furthermore add more loop cuts around this tip end to make it a kind of sharp, just to point at that point at the difference between the neck and the head. I don't know if that makes sense, but it looks good to me. Yeah, that's just it. We should go into the render view, yeah, to see what this looks like, and let's make use of one of the HDRIs. This really works. Let's add you're not going to have this when you open your shader. Let's go to our materials tab, rename that to Vase, Right, you can choose to give it any color that you want, but we are going to actually add something that really looks like a vase. Let's make it shiny using the roughness. Reducing it, you now see the reflections around. If you reduce the specularity down, you're not going to see more reflections, but if you just increase it maybe to the mid level, you're going to see reflections. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, um you can see how smooth and less rough it looks. Let's change this to the shader editor so that you can see our materials and add textures to it. Let's go to the folder and bring this texture into Blender. Just dragging the picture down, you will add an image node automatically. But make sure you need to have your node wrangler enabled. Okay, connecting this directly will give an indefinite wrap around it, which is not according to your UV wrap. So clicking on Ctrl T, you add this stuff to your shader editor. Let's open the UV editor so that we can have a more better wrap around it. Click on your vase, go into edit mode. If click on A to select all the vertices to see how it has been unwrapped. At default, it is so messed up. So all you need to do from here, you can click U to unwrap, but let's just add seams first. So to tell Blender where and where to cut your wraps. Okay, but for the more another tutorial is coming up where I'm going to dig deeply into UV unwrapping. That's coming up very soon. But let me just scratch the surface here so that you can get to a brief knowledge about what is coming up soon. Click on Ctrl E to bring out the edge panel and click on mark seam. That is going to automatically mark that place as a seam. Let's disconnect the image texture so you can see the seam that we are marking. Later we're going to reconnect it. Alright, as it is better to mark seams where it's not going to be visible in the camera, like where people are not really going to look at. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to mark a seam at the very center also so that you see what I mean. And let's mark this one beneath. You're not going to look at this because the vase is going to be standing when you are going to export it and render it, sorry. So your eye is not going to see this. Let's mark the seam there. Alright, and also let's mark the seam at the very center just to show you what I meant about marking seams where it's not supposed to be visible. Alright, click on Ctrl and Shift, hold Ctrl and Shift while clicking the vertices to continuously click the loops. Alright, let's follow the lines and click on that. Yeah, Ctrl A, mark seam. Alright, let's click on A to select all, click U and unwrap. Yes, you now see the islands and now the UV is now unwrapped based on the seams that we introduced. Alright, this is what it looks like, but I think you're not seeing well because of these vertices being yellowish in color. You can choose any island with L and scale it up or move it around the image texture in order to further resize and move the texture around the model. You can also rotate, but you're rotating along two axes here, X and Y, not Z. Alright, you can also scale. The further you scale it up, that's making it bigger, the smaller the image textures that's going to be appearing on the verse or on your model. Let's also do that to the head, which is the top. Yeah, you see how it wraps around. Let's go do that to the top. This is the seam I'm talking about. Though it's not going to be really visible here, but you're gonna see it very soon. Alright, um what else do you have to do here? Let's go to the head. Yeah, click on one point and click L, scale it up to resize it. I know you're seeing the changes over there at the top. Yeah, this is what it looks like. All right, now I've gone back to the object mode. This is where your camera will be facing. All right, this is where it will be facing. Let's close these other windows and check this to the objects mode. This is where your camera will be facing. So there's a seam at the side, probably, which is very visible. All right. You're going to see what I mean by always marking seam. Let's introduce our camera with Control Shift O. Parent our camera to the view so that you can have make a model be at the very center. Because in your render view, whatever you render is what your camera sees. So we have to make a camera see what we want our audience to see. Okay, so now we have it there. We have it. All right, we can now add a plane, like the floor. Okay, that makes sense. Scale it up so you have more space there, and let's just add some things in the background to make it look like kind of like a wallpaper, or it's sitting in front of a wall. It doesn't have to be anything so unique, but just to give you some nice background. You know what I mean. Right, just scale it up a tad, increase it. I feel like speeding up this particular process, but let me just share with you the workflow. You have to be doing all sorts of trials, turning around your viewport to see what fits your scene. Okay, scale it, move it around. Initially, I wanted to go with one cube, but I said I should go with two. Shift duplicate and let the other one go further back and increase it to cover the scene. Now you get the idea. Bring them down a little just to cover the shadows. Yeah. After this, you should be going into the lighting. Okay. You shouldn't be worried if the cubes are being intersected or not, but normally it's intersected. Alright, let's add an area light to the scene to brighten it up. Let's increase the power. You're not always sure of what you're going to get whenever you add an HDRI. So you have to increase the power to see what lights up your scene and your models the way you actually want them to be. So add a light. When you start seeing shadows and the effect of it, you can now tweak it by moving it around to further suit your style, the way you want your stuff to be. So you can further direct your light rays to hit your model using Shift T. And if I do away with the HDRI, you see the effect of the light. And if I crank it up, it's really going to bring out its effect. Alright, so normally for this kind of scenes, you can do with more than one source of light. Okay, one coming in from the right, one coming in from the left, and maybe one in the front. If you crank up the power, if it matches your scene and what you want to get, you're free to do that. You're not paying for electricity yet. Okay, adding back your HDRI. Yeah, this looks actually better to me. Yeah, because if I get to add another one over the other side, it's gonna balance everything. You can use the free lighting from your HDRI. Most times it's necessary to use your free lighting from your HDRI. Let's just play with this value a little and the color type a little. Okay, you can choose this just to make it look kind of evening kind of light, or move it to the blue side too. make it look so early. You know, you just need to test all this, play with the values to see what actually works for you. But initially, if you have a particular reference you want to work based of, you know what you're going to do. All right. Say, let's add another one. You know, um, increases. Okay, let's make the highlights. Let's increase the power. Yeah, so that you will see the edges of the vase. This is always necessary in most cases. So you see the vase of the model. The highlight is always very important. Okay, so just read the value to see what works for you. Let's, yeah, increase the power and play with the color a little. Yeah, but you get the idea. I know you get the idea. This is just about it. Lightning is very broad and intensive part of 3D modeling you need to know. Let's add another light. Okay, scale it, rotate it. Let's give um the corner of this background more light, so it's kind of like even somehow with the other side of the um background. Okay, let's just see how that projects. You can choose to, yeah, take it back down. Yeah, direct the light source to that particular place. Let's see the power we give to this light. Okay, that's the color. Let's reduce it a little to see if we can match the two. Now the color is just odd. Okay, but it's just something that looks a little bit similar to, yeah, let's just try to harness all of them together so that one will not be slightly off from the other. Okay, okay, let's, yeah, yeah, kind of getting closer. We are getting closer there. We're getting closer. I did a lot of tweaking over here. All right, yeah, this looks great to me. Let's render it and see what we have. Yeah, all right. Let's just test render, but you get the idea. You can choose to do more of this, duplicate it, model a table, keep it on top of a table, get a flower, fix it inside, and then make your scene look nice. All right, thanks guys for watching. I'm sure you like the tutorial, and if you really like the tutorial, please kindly subscribe to my channel and like. So, and I'm gonna do more videos about this with other models. Comment down below on what you want to see me model next, and what you want to, like, get some tips and tricks on how to model next. All right, thank you and have a nice time.